work on is the concept of USPs, which is exactly the request that she'd had over there about, how do you really get unique so that people really will spend a lot more and go with you from that angle. And so what we're going to talk about is a unique selling proposition has some very unique features, and so I'll give you some examples. First of all, Domino's Pizza, I think, is one of the best and earliest great examples of USP. This is a company that couldn't sell pizza to save their life. I mean, it wasn't working, they couldn't make money, they weren't growing, and finally they had a little meeting and they said, you know what, when people order pizza, they don't even want pizza. They just want some food and they want it fast. How about if we come up with a 30-minute guarantee or the pizza's on us? And so they came out with a guarantee, and boom, the company just took off. Huge success story, national, growth that was amazing, profitability, and then somebody got in a car accident, and then they had to slow that whole thing down. But the concept worked beautifully. It was an amazing, amazing concept because it went into the core, okay? So here's some other examples. If you look on page 20, there are some examples. So Romano's Macaroni Grill, I don't know if you have them in the area where you live, but if you've ever been to one of those, you probably have 50 to 100 different Italian places in your neighborhood unless you have a really, really small neighborhood. And so Italian restaurants are kind of a dime a dozen. But when you walk into Macaroni Grill, it's an experience, yes? Anybody been to Macaroni Grill? Okay, so what's part of the experience? Go ahead and shout out. What's part of the experience?
The server can sign their name upside down.
The server can sign their name upside down on the table in crayon, okay? What else happens?
They sing to you.
They sing to you, okay? As they walk by, they sing, and so it's a big production. Now, at other places, they just serve Italian foods. But at Macaroni Grill, I mean, they've had this huge expansion. It's a big national company now because they do two things. They write their name upside down in crayon. Now, could you take a server and train them how to write their name upside down in crayon? I wouldn't know how, but if your life depended on it, you'd figure out how to do this, yes? And they've done it, and people find this to be remarkable. Does it cost them anything? It's actually cheaper. Instead of having to put new linens out every time they replace the paper on top of the white linens. They save a lot of money doing it. It's brilliant, okay? So they've really mastered something beautiful. And so, so they have a wonderful USP. So imagine that we're looking at jewelry. Let's see what kind of holiday is coming up right now. We got Christmas coming up soon. And so let's imagine that you're going to go buy some jewelry for your significant other. And let's imagine that over on this side of the wall are all the different jewelry stores, and the whole street here is just jewelry stores. And so there's 5 different jewelry stores here, Jed's and Julie's and Jorene's and Joey's and Jack's. Okay, so they all look the same. They all have jewelry. Which one are you going to go into? You don't know. But then Jack has a sign, and his says that they won the Outstanding Jewelry Design Award 3 years in a row. Now where are you going to go? You are not missing Jack's. You may go to another one, but you will not miss Jack's. Suddenly the rest of them have become invisible, just like most banks have become invisible. So he did one thing, has one powerful USP, the rest become invisible, okay? And so another one comes up and they put a sign up that says 32,563 14-karat gold unique designs in stock every day. Now we're going to go. That one and that one, but the other 3 are now completely invisible. Is there a metaphor here? Yes, that's right, that's right, there's a metaphor here. You must create USPs that make your competition invisible, okay? And so you can't have a Me Too by any stretch of the imagination. So in just a second we're going to start talking about how do you make a USP really happen. So there are 3 different elements that must happen in every USP, and it must start with what matters to the customer. So I have here customer's perspective. It is what matters to the customers. If it does not matter to the customer, don't do it. And so one of the most important things you can be doing is finding out what matters to your customers. So right now, go ahead and just, at your table, I want you shouting out things that matter to your customer right now. And think about it as the negative complaint list, okay? And so, like, what are all the things that people, why do they say they left their other bank when they came to you? Like, I couldn't even get anybody to answer the 800 number. You know, I got stuck in voicemail forever and ever, couldn't get through. You know, what are the things that just tick them off? Make your list. Right now, you have a minute and a half to do this. I want to, we can hear them all, so go ahead and shout. Safety and security, friendliness, community involvement, accuracy, convenience, efficiency, personal relationship, problem solving, excellent. What else? Direct line, speak the language, competency, follow-up service. Okay, you got it. Okay, these are the things that matter. You got it nailed. These are the things that people are complaining about in their banks right now. Great. So now for each one of these, we want to create a dramatic difference. What kind of difference? What kind of difference? Okay, let's all just be dramatic for a second here, okay? Now, there are people who are very refined and very much in their box, and they're not dramatic at all, and there are people who are, we were just at the movie theater the other night when we went to go see the couples retreat, and we were asking this gal a couple questions, and as she was talking, everything she said like this. And as I left, I said to my husband, wow, you just kind of like get, she's really dramatic and everything, right? And so I want you thinking about her as you're creating your dramatic difference. It must stand out. It must be huge. It's got to be just so different. Okay, so let me give you a couple examples. So when I first started teaching this boot camp, I started talking about vodka, because vodka is the ultimate commodity. Think about it. It's colorless, it's tasteless, and people pay premium pricing for what, right? And so they all did a beautiful job of telling their stories. So the stories were all over the place. The stories were only made with 100% Russian rye, or made from a 100-year-old recipe, a secret recipe, or I mean, they all had a story which created the uniqueness. So they all knew how to market a commodity, didn't they? They were doing a great job. And then along comes, in the middle of our boot camps, you know, there was the USA Today had a front page article on this. It was beautiful. There was a new kind of vodka out, and it was fruity, colored, and it tasted like fruit. And what do you suppose was the premium pricing that they could get for that kind of vodka? Who wants to guess? It was front page of the USA Today. A 700% premium. Is there a metaphor here? You got it. Okay, so the key is you must have something dramatically different, and you can get premium pricing, and people are thrilled to pay it. But people pay a whole lot more for a Lexus versus a Gremlin. Yes. Some of you don't know what a Gremlin is, right? That's because they didn't last very long, for good reason, okay? So we always pay more for quality, okay? So what you need to do is create the perception of quality. So say to the person next to you, I am going to create a dramatic difference. Yes, you are. Okay. And how you do that is oh so much fun. Okay, so that's the next part, is that you need to have an explicit benefit or an overt benefit, something that is so tangible that it just makes sense. Okay, so overt benefit. So let me give you some examples of overt benefits, and we're going to begin the process of developing some USPs. And this is why everyone in your bank must be a marketer, is because you need to have 50, 100 different USPs available to you at any moment that you can pull from your language whenever you're in front of a customer. You must be able to think the language of USPs. You must be able to differentiate what you do compared to what everybody else is doing.